We're 3 games into the post-Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders era at Colorado, and things aren't really looking good right now. Not due to Colorado lacking talent. Colorado has a talented enough team to where they should be a 7-win team at worst this year. Their defensive line still is really good. They got a good pass rush. They can get after the quarterback. Their offensive line has somewhat improved, and the receivers are just as good as anybody else's receiving room in the Big 12. Deion Sanders has an eye for great receivers, but Deion doesn't have an eye for handling Colorado's current quarterback predicament. So he started Kaden Salter week 1 against Georgia Tech. He benches him because he just wasn't cutting it for him. And he ends up putting in Ryan Staub, who Ryan Staub never really knew too much about this dude other than he was Shedeur Sanders' backup, and he's been with Deion ever since he first took the Colorado job. So he gives Ryan Staub opportunity after how well he played against Delaware, which I say was justified. And Ryan Staub didn't play good against Houston. If Kaden Salter started against Houston, Colorado would have won that game. What Colorado is missing on offense that Deion can't see is the ability to run the football, the ability to be multifaceted offensively. Kaden Salter, with what he can do running the football, defenses have to account for that, which opens up opportunities for the running backs to get going. Because if you key in on Kaden Salters, then you have to worry about those running backs also. Then once you get the ground game going, your passing attack is more efficient. Kaden Salter, with a new team that's transitioning over with a new offense, because you're not running the same offense this year that you were with Shedeur, there were going to be some inconsistencies early. Kaden Salter having early season struggles was expected. He's with a bunch of guys that he's unfamiliar with, that he doesn't really know too much about. On top of that, you have a team that's transitioning in terms of their philosophy on offense being less air raid, less pass-centric, and more balanced. So Colorado doesn't even really know what their identity is without Shedeur Sanders. So you have to give Kaden Salter a little bit of a leash. And with his upside, due to what he can do with his legs, he's worth giving another opportunity to. Why is Ryan Staub worthy of giving a longer leash than what Kaden Salters was given, when Kaden Salter is the more talented of the two players? And it's evident that when Kaden Salter is in, Colorado's offense is a lot more efficient. They put up 20 points against Georgia Tech. It's not as if they put up 3 or put up a donut on the scoreboard. They had an opportunity to win that game. He missed a few throws, but it's week 1. And Deion can't throw out Julian Lewis. He can't put Juju out there this early, because if Juju struggles, then it'll ruin his confidence. If Deion throws out Juju and he struggles, he'll hit the portal. You'll ruin his confidence. Similar situation happened with Dante Moore his true freshman season at UCLA with Chip Kelly. He struggled, got benched, lost his confidence, transfers to Oregon, sits for a year behind Dillon Gabriel, and he's balling out now. It's best if Juju doesn't play for Colorado this year. This isn't really a situation that's setting Juju up for success, especially if you have Pat Shurmur still calling the plays. Deion Sanders sticking with Pat Shurmur as his offensive coordinator is going to be the downfall of Colorado this year. He never should have kept Pat Shurmur around. The only reason Pat Shurmur looked good calling plays was due to Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. When you have 2 elite players, it elevates the play caller. If you have 2 great players, then it makes you look better than what you actually are as an offensive coordinator. Pat Shurmur, if you look at his history being the OC and the play caller in the NFL, he hasn't really had a lot of success. But I gave Deion Sanders the benefit of a doubt, bringing back Pat Shurmur due to how well his defensive coordinator hire and hiring Warren Sapp panned out for Colorado in them last season. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, Deion has a good eye when it comes to finding good coaches, good coordinators. Well, you struck out with Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur is just as big of a problem for Colorado this year as what the quarterback play is. And the quarterback play really isn't that bad. It's really just the predictable play calling. All of the bubble screens, the short passes, the unwillingness to run the ball a lot more. You know, if Kaden Salter had a more creative offensive mind, then he would still be Colorado's starting quarterback. It's funny how Hugh Freeze was the guy who had Kaden Salter playing great football when he was at Liberty. And as soon as Hugh Freeze left, that's when Kaden Salter started struggling. I'm just saying, like, if you are Deion Sanders, you cannot continue to allow your irrational decisions to jam up Colorado's offense. He never should have benched Kaden Salter. It's only week 1. Benching Kaden Salter after one game is like quitting a Madden game after you throw an interception on the second play. You have to be patient. Certain things take time. And Deion has so much potential that he can't see in this Colorado team because he wants to be irrational with this quarterback predicament. It's going to be disappointing to see this Colorado team fall short of what they are capable of. Because Kaden Salter, I do believe, gives Colorado the best shot to win this year. He's more dynamic. He's a more talented quarterback. Ryan Staub, he's like a Rudy story that Deion Sanders wants to come true. But it won't. Because Ryan Staub just doesn't have the physical traits that Kaden Salter has. Kaden Salter can take over games. Ryan Staub really can't. When Kaden Salter is on, who's stopping Colorado? Colorado changed quarterbacks and still is getting the same result that they did when they stuck with Kaden Salter in week 1. A loss. So you might as well go with the more talented of the two quarterbacks. Deion Sanders made a really irrational decision benching Kaden Salter for Ryan Staub in hopes of getting his Rudy story. He loves the underdog. He roots for the underdog because at one point he was the underdog. But Deion, you are an underdog with world-class athleticism. Ryan Staub is not the underdog that possesses the physical traits that you did. Kaden Salter is a great athlete, though. He can extend plays. He can add an element to Colorado's offense that they no longer have for Ryan Staub. With Deion benching Kaden Salter, he got Colorado's rushing attack right back to what it was the previous few seasons. Non-existent. Kaden Salter, with him at quarterback, it makes your offense versatile. You can run and pass. Without him, your offense is just a one-trick pony. And you don't have the quarterback play passing the ball like you did with Shedeur to beat teams throwing 40, 50 times a game. This just isn't going to work. Deion has to go back to Kaden Salter.